Hello, and a warm welcome to our show, Love Athletics. In this program, we bring you the latest highlights from our sport with expert input from different continental areas. We were really looking forward to having Kenyan journalist Elias Makori with us today. However, Elias will finally not be able to join us live, but he has sent some videos in particular about the Kenyan trials for the World Championships, which start later today in Nairobi. So let's first look at what's been happening in our sport over the past week, starting with the Diamond League meetings, and there were two. On 30 June, Lausanne Atletissima, a total of 3 world leads were set. Top marks came from the longer distances as the cold weather and headwinds were not really favorable for the sprints. The highlight was an excellent 5,000 meters race in which, in a thrilling battle, Ethiopia's world cross-country silver medalist Berihu Aregawi resisted the surge of Olympic champion Joshua Cheptegei to win in 12:40.45 against 12:41.61 for the Ugandan. Berihu Aregawi thus moved into number 5 spot in the all-time lists, while for Cheptegei it was his best mark since he set the world record in August 2020. Another athlete who continues to chalk up excellent results is Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who took the 1500 in 3 minutes 28.72 ahead of steeplechase world record holder Lamecha Girma, 3:29.51, a national record, and Britain's Josh Kerr in 3:29.64. Now, sometimes I think it must be tough to be Ryan Krauser. In Lausanne, the world shot put record holder had another excellent performance, hurling his implement to 22 meters 29. But such is his strength and the depth of his results, this is his 4th best mark of the season and the 5th overall, that at times we become unjustly blasé with his performances. Among the women, the best mark came from Dutch hurdler Femke Bolle, who clocked her 3rd time well under 53 seconds this year with 52.76, closing almost 2 seconds ahead of her nearest competitor. Good results also in the high hurdles with Puerto Rico's Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Quinn, who was neck and neck with reigning world champion and world record holder Toby Amusan for much of the race, but pulled away in the last 5 meters to finish in 12.40 to the Nigerians' 12.47. Excellent times into a 1.4 meters per second headwind. And it was the 7th success in 7 meets this season for Camacho Quinn. And as we briefly mentioned last week, Australia's Nicola Ollislagers continued her excellent series, which saw her win the 4 meets she contested in Europe in June, all except the Brno meet on 17 June, with clearances above 2 meters. And in Lausanne, she had the best result so far, with a stunning jump of 2 meters 02, which is a world lead and equals the Oceania record, which she had set to earn the Olympic silver in Tokyo. Ollislagers' jumps at 2 meters 05 were close, especially the second, so encouraging for the rest of the season. Finally, Marie-Josée Talou is another athlete who continued her win streak with her 9th success over the 100 meters after initial hiccup at Mount Sac Relays back in April, running a very good 10.88 into a 0.8 headwind. Talou later helped the Ivory Coast ladies to clock a national record of 42.23, the best result this year outside US college meets, taking over 1 second off their previous mark dating from 2016. It's also a Budapest qualifier for the Ivorian ladies. Muriel Auré-Demps, Talou, Jessica Gbaye, and Mabundo Kone, who thus ensured the ladies' sprint relay returns to the World Championships after an absence of 20 years. Well done, ladies. Now, to conclude our review of Lausanne Atletisme Meet, let's hear from Nicola Ollislagers about her feelings after the city high jump and what motivates her.
Nicola, pretty fantastic fortnight, back over 2 meters in Paris, national record equaled here, and a couple really good attempts at 2:05.
Yeah, I mean, this season has been a really great consistent season, and you know, I think the strength of consistency comes through humility. So I'm trying to just every time when I'm attempting a height, remind myself that no matter how fast I run to the bar or how strong I've been in these last few months, I just have to remember to stick to the process and the plan, and just have faith that, you know, I can jump higher heights even when I feel like it gets a bit over my head. Just stay grounded and go, all right, we can do it.
And how were you feeling at 2:05 tonight?
Feeling is good. I think I will look at the video of the 2:05 because I looked at my coach and in the end, I want to jump high, and I get the record and all of the accolades. That's great, but I know they'll come if I just focus on jumping high. And the 2:05, when the music was going, you know, that music for me is like really. The lyrics are really, really powerful, and I just think, wow, it's a beautiful opportunity that I had to share with so many people, and they could see what was going on inside of my head. And if I could do more jumps with music, I think maybe 2:02 wouldn't be the lowest.
Tell me, what is the title of the song you were jumping on?
It's called Freedom by Jesus Culture, and you know, the reason why I'm even in sports still is because I made a decision in 2017 that I would pursue God over sport, and whether that meant that I jumped 188, which was my PB at that time, or jump higher, I realized my identity, when it wasn't in how high I jumped, it wasn't in the accolades I got, but really just from being loved. And that just brought freedom, and that's why I want people to see the smile and the crazy to come on and shouting, because I'm free from expectations, and I love jumping and being able to share that kind of freedom.
It definitely shows that you love jumping, because you always have a huge smile on your face.
Jumping's fun when you've got when you've had a really good strength base as well.
Congratulations, thank you.
Now, another athlete who was very inspired by the music she had chosen for the city center high jump was the Ukraine's Irina Gerashenko, who cleared 2 meters to equal her PB, which she had set in Oregon when placing 4th at the World Championships last year.
First of all, congratulations, back over 2 meters. So a really good competition for you tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, really good competition and really good atmosphere, and thank you for support and this competition.
And your feelings when you went over the bar at 2 meters?
I understand I can more and I want to jump more. Yes.
The music.
And very, very pressure for my coach, because she is here with me, with Yulia, with our team, and it's very big support for us.
The music you were jumping on is the Ukrainian winner from Eurovision.
Yes, Ukrainian music for all people from Switzerland. We jump from Ukrainian music.
And a lot of them seem to know it because they were kind of singing along.
Yes. They can say. Yes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
2 days later in Lausanne, rain marred much of the evening, putting a damper on performances of most athletes, but some still managed to shine. The best mark came from the home country's Mondo Duplantis. Pole vault was delayed by 2 hours due to the rain, and when it could finally start, other events had finished by well over an hour. Pole vault superstar, however, didn't disappoint, clearing all heights up and including 6 meters 05 on first attempts. He then asked for the bar to be set at 6 meters 23, hoping to offer the spectators a new world record, but it was not to be that evening. The other performer of the day was world record holder and Olympic champion Karsten Warholm, who won the 400 hurdles in 47.57, another excellent time after his Oslo debut 2 weeks earlier. The race was disturbed by climate protesters who descended on the track near the finish line, occupying the 6 central lanes, but Warholm in lane 8 was practically unaffected. Among the women, the best performance came in the 100 hurdles, where Tobi Amusan ran a very good 12.52 considering the conditions, with Ireland's Sarah Levin, who had run the national race earlier in the day to qualify for the final, finishing second in a PB of 12.73 in a field which included global medalists and continental champions. And a special performance came from Croatia's double Olympic and world discus champion Sandra Perkovic, who threw 64.49 to clinch the win. And what made it special, as Perkovic herself specified after the competition, is that it was her 70th Diamond League meeting, her 46th victory, and her 67th podium. Now that is really stunning. If you look at the podiums, that means she was in the top 3 on 95.7% of her Diamond League meetings. She's a 7 times Diamond League final winner, and of course has medaled at every World Championship since 2013, in addition to being a 6 times European champion starting in 2010. Really amazing, Sandra Perkovic. The CAC Games are underway in El Salvador, and US and Jamaican trials for the World Championships started yesterday, but we will review all these events next week after their conclusion. So let's look now at what's been happening on the roads. Running in the Gold Coast Half Marathon on Brisbane on 1st July, USA's 38-year-old Kira D'Amato won the race in 1 hour 06:39, improving her PB by over 1 minute to set the US and NACAC record, taking 30 seconds off the mark set by Emily Sisson in January. Now, Sisson was the athlete who had bettered D'Amato's area record in the marathon last October, so D'Amato has now turned the tables on her in the shorter distance. On 2 July, the South American Half Marathon Championships were held in Santa Cruz de la Sierra in Bolivia. The championships were dominated by Ecuador, who took victory in the women's race with Silvia Ortiz, the winner in 1:14:36, ahead of compatriot Rosalba Chacha and Peru's Rocio Cantara. The men's race went to Brazil's Jonatas de Oliveira, followed by Ecuadorians Rafael Loza and Luis Miguel Mazavanda. Ecuador therefore dominated the medal table, taking gold with both teams, followed by Brazil, Peru with 2 team silvers, and hosts Bolivia taking the team bronze. On the same day, the Nairobi City Marathon was held, with victories for Robert Kiplimo in 2 hours 07:38 and Naomi Rotich in 2 hours 24:33. Now that is really impressive running at Nairobi's altitude of 1,795 meters. It's time now to go back to the global overview of our sport and check out the world's leads set in the past 7 days. As we saw, there were 3 in Lausanne, while the weather in Stockholm was really too bad for outstanding performances. So Beriu Aregawi, Nicola Olislagers in the high jump, and Katie Moon in the pole vault with 4 meters 82 also set a world lead. And this week, there was just one other world lead outside Diamond League meetings. And that was in the high jump, where Russia's Danil Lysenko cleared 2 meters 33 to equal the high jump world lead in a meeting in Brest in Belarus. However, as not all world leads are top level marks, we will also continue to look at the top marks of the past week, starting with the senior men's events. The top performance among the men, of course, came in Lausanne. Jakob Ingebrigtsen's 3:28.72 is the second mark of the year after his European record in Oslo. And the race was also very good with Lamecha Girma, Josh Kerr, and also Neil Gurley. In the 5,000, as we saw, excellent marks for Berihu Aregawi and Joshua Cheptegei, but also good running by Hagos Gebrehiwot and Telahun Haile Bekele. In the 110 hurdles, this event was outside the Diamond League meetings, but very good results in 13:07 for Frances Willem Bellocian on 2 July in La Chaux-de-Fonds. And that's the third French mark. And knowing that France has a very high tradition in the hurdles, that's really good. In the 400 hurdles, as we saw, Karsten Barholm, excellent 47.57. In the pole vault, 6:05 for Mondo Duplantis. Ryan Krauser's 22:29 we mentioned, but Tom Walsh also had a good performance with 21 meters 99. In the discus throw, not as long throws as they have had this season, but Christian C. and Daniel Stahl had some very good performances. Daniel Stahl in Karlstad threw over 70 meters, 70.25, and Christian C. in Stockholm, 69.83. Top men's performance of 23 remains Ryan Krauser's world shot put world record, which is worth 1,334 points. So let's check now the best women's marks of the week. And again, they were from Lausanne. In the 100 hurdles, as we saw, into a 1.4 headwind, 12.40 for Jasmine Camacho Quinn, 52.76 in the 400 hurdles by Femke Boll, and Nicola Olislagers with 2 meters 02 in the high jump. Top women's performance of 2023 remains Faith Kipyegon's 1,500 meter world record, which is worth 1,295 points. Now, another mark to highlight among the women is Oceania's 100-meter record set by New Zealand's Zoe Hobbs on 2 July in La Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland. In the heats of the Resi Sprint meeting, she improved her continental best to 10.96 with a tailwind just within the accepted limit of 2 meters. Now, this is the 5th area record on the distance by Hobbs, who first took 200ths off the previous record of 11.11, which had stood since 2014 in June last year, and first went below 10 flat last March with 10.97 before shaving off another 100 this week. The under 18s, as last week we extended our cutoff now to the top 15 marks of all time, will also include some which are not very, very new. But the first one in the 1,500 meter by Cameron Myers was set on 1st July, and he improved even more. He's still number 11 on the world under 18 all-time list, but now with a mark of 3 minutes 35.88. In the 110 hurdles, Matthias Zach of Czech Republic on 17 June had run 13.25, which makes him equal number 10 on the all-time list. And among the women, Adeja Hodge in the Continental Tour Gold meeting in New York, 22.85 is number 13 in the under 18 all-time list by the athlete from British Virgin Islands. On the 3,000 meter steeplechase, good result for a Japanese athlete, Mei Hokiyama, who in Marugame on 19 June ran 9 minutes 34.46 to become number 12 on the all-time list. While in the javelin, 500 grams implement, Finland's Rebecca Nelli-Marka threw 59.98, number 11 in the under 18 all-time list. But let's talk now about what is happening in the next few days, as most countries hold their national trials or championships. Elias, before we look at the Kenyan trials, we need to look back and speak about Faith Kipyegon and her amazing season with 2 world records in 8 days. So let's first hear what Kipyegon told us in the mix zone in Paris after the second one.
Yeah, it's like a dream. It's like I'm dreaming. It's like I don't know how to express this. I'm so happy. I'm emotional right now. I'm so happy.
What were you thinking about the race?
Sorry?
What were you thinking about the race coming in? What were you expecting?
For me, I was just expecting to run my best, to lower my Barcelona best to 14.1. Not to run this fast. Yeah, this was incredible. I was not expecting this, to say the truth. This was amazing. Yeah.
Most amazing than last week.
Sorry?
Most amazing,
More amazing
than last week record.
Yeah, I can say this was really amazing. This was really a big surprise. Not even like Florence. Florence, yeah, I was surprised with my world record, and today was really, really surprising. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still like I'm mad or something, but yeah, I thank God.
You saw Jakob breaking the record before you, and we've seen 2 world leads. How is the track and how are the conditions here?
Ooh, the track is really good with the weather, everything. The fans are really cheering, and yeah, it was really amazing today. And yeah, I thank God.
How did you work with Beatrice towards this?
I knew Beatrice was going to base really good. I know she's a good athlete. She's good in pacing. She did before the pacing 5,000 for Gideon. And I knew she was going to do her best here because I knew Gideon was going to break the world record. So I told myself, just relax, enjoy the base and see what you can run in 5,000. Because yeah, it's not my race, but I thank God I did it. Yeah.
And how did the lights help you? Were you
Yeah, I
looking
can say yes. The lights really helped me because I stayed with the green lights. I didn't run with the blue lights because I knew the blue lights was a little bit weaker. So I said, let me hold on with the green lights and see what was possible the last 100 meters.
Do you begin to sing to the barrier of the 14 minutes on 5K?
I don't know. This was surprising, so I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next, but yeah, it's possible. Everything is possible in life. We might go under 14:00 in future, but at the moment we just we enjoy the season. Still early, and we hope maybe at the end of this season we will do a much quicker.
When you took the lead, was it because Letesenbet was slipping off the pace a little bit, or?
No, she told me just go and for me I like running my own race. I don't like against somebody, but I just run my race. Just after Gina told me just go, I took the lead and just focus to the finish line. Yeah.
What distance for Budapest?
1500 of course. I'm focusing myself to defend my title in 1500, and I'm going back home to sit with my team, back to the drawing board and see what is best for me in Budapest.
Could you still feel last week's race in your legs this week?
Yes. It's only that I was feeling a little bit tired, but it's only that I went for an easy run to keep my body fit and just jump here and do the best. Yeah.
You did another fantastic last lap. In Firenze it was 58.8, I think. Here another. Even though you're tired from Florence, it was an amazing last lap.
Yeah, for me I was just coming here to enjoy the race and see what was possible, because I knew the ladies were going to be fast, and I knew I was coming from the world record attempt in Florence, but I knew everything was possible. But for me, I was just running my race, focusing to the finish line, and focusing myself.
You were speaking yesterday about sometime moving up to the marathon. Now it starts to feel very, very realistic.
Yeah, of course I can say I have a lot of endurance in my legs. I do a lot of long runs, I do a lot of bad leg and speed work. Yeah, I knew I was going to run good here, but not the world record. But I'm so happy.
Yeah, several years chasing one, and now 2 world records in 8 days.
Sorry?
You spent 2 years and more chasing 1 world record, and now you have 2 in 8 days.
Yeah, this is, like I say, it's like I don't know how to express this. This is amazing. Running 2 world records within a week is just crazy. And I really thank God. I really thank God.
Congratulations.
And now let's hear what Elias has to say about this great champion.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Actually, it's been an amazing season for Faith Kipyegon. I remember in February at the Sirikwa cross country, she literally tore apart the field in the cross country, winning by, it was almost 1 kilometer from the second place athlete. And that really showed that she had built up the endurance. She had the speed also, of course, training the 1500 meters. And going into Florence, when she broke that world record, I mean, it was unbelievable. And it was actually proof that her training has been going on well. Of course, training under Coach Patrick Sang, the great Patrick Sang, in the group that includes Eliud Kipchoge. She usually trains a lot with the group for the long runs. The second group, she's always with the second group with the men. So you can imagine the kind of endurance that she has. And then again, going into Paris, we were together in Paris. Anna, you remember 60-second final lap in that 5,000 meters, going on to beat Gide's world record. Yeah, looking forward to her, carrying on this form into the World Championships in Budapest. It's very good that the Athletics Kenya selectors during the trials in Nairobi have decided to let her skip the 1,500 meters and focus on the 5,000 meters, because doubling up is energy sapping. So they're trying to preserve her, make sure that she goes into Budapest in good shape. She's already hinted that she'll be doing more of the 5,000 meters as she moves slowly, graduating eventually to get onto the road. So you've seen her progression has been very good, 1,500 meters, now 5,000 meters, and going into the roads, as opposed to the other athletes that we see more and more from Africa especially, who go directly to the roads without building a portfolio on the track. So it's been a brilliant season for Faith, and I think better things to come. Actually, I'm surprised she didn't go for the World Championships in cross country in Bathurst in Australia, because she will have won that one. Of course, Beatrice Chebet won it. Beatrice is in good shape, but I think Faith will have taken it hands down, Anna.
Elias, the Kenyan trials for the World Championships start this afternoon in Nairobi. What are the 3 events you are most looking forward to?
Yeah, thank you, Anna. It's going to be very, very exciting at the Kenyan trials. As they say, the Kenyan trials, the US trials are the biggest track and field events outside the World Championships, outside the Olympic Games. Getting a ticket to the World Championships from Kenya, to the Olympics from Kenya, is actually more difficult than winning a medal at the Olympics or the World Championships. So very competitive trials that we have, a very good field. 3 events that I'm looking forward to. The women's 5,000 meters. We have, of course, Faith Kipyegon. She's decided to run this one, and the Athletics Kenya selectors have given her, the advantage of not running the 1,500 meters. She has a wild card in the 1,500 meters, so she's going to run the 5,000 meters, coming up against the Commonwealth champion, the world cross-country champion, Beatrice Chebet, young girl who's really come up very well from the junior ranks, and prospects for the future. So, it could easily be, perhaps 2 Kenyans on the podium Beatrice Chebet and Faith Kipyegon in the 5,000 meters in Budapest. So the women's 5,000 meters is one event that I'm looking forward to. Men's 100 meters, of course, Ferdinand is always a joy to watch. Ferdinand Omanyala, the African champion, 9.77 seconds Africa record. Yeah, he ran well, like you saw again, Anna, we were together in Paris when he ran 9.98, just 1/100th of a second behind, Noah Lyles, the American who won in 9.97. Of course, he's unrivaled in Kenya in the 100 meters, but he's always a joy to watch, especially in the relays, because Kenya is trying to fight to get the qualifying time for the relays, both in the 4x1 and 4x4. So the selectors, Athletics Kenya, the organizers of the trials have brought in, athletes from Nigeria, from Botswana, from Uganda to try and make it, an international relay, because of course the rules say that to get the qualifying time, you need to have been in a competition where there are 3 or more nations involved. That's why we saw the organizers inviting Nigeria, inviting Botswana, and indeed Uganda. So with Kenya, there'll be 4 nations in competition. Yeah, so the sprints, 4x1 and 4x4, are going to be an amazing event to watch. The steeplechase, Anna, is my 3rd event. I'd like to see the depth that we have. The women's steeple looks more or less safe, with Beatrice Chepkoech, of course, the world record holder, showing her form. You've seen her run in the Diamond League. She's picking up at the right time. She had suffered a long injury, but now she's back, and we are pinning our hopes on her getting onto the podium in Budapest. The men's steeplechase has been the talk of town. The coaches, selectors, the athletes are debating on what needs to be done for Kenya to get back its lost glory. Remember, 1968 Olympics in Mexico, Amos Biwott won the gold medal in the steeplechase, and that was the beginning of Kenya's dominance. But now we saw Girma shatter Shaheen's world record in the steeplechase in Paris. We've seen Soufiane El Bakkali even beating Kenyan steeplechasers here in Nairobi at the Kip Keino Classic. So there's a big worry. Is Kenya fighting for a bronze behind El Bakkali, behind Girma? Or are we going to see, the athletes, Kibiwott and company, stepping up their game? I was speaking to the multiple world champion, multiple Olympic champion, Ezekiel Kemboi 2 nights ago, and he's really, really concerned. He's even contemplating getting into coaching to see how Kenyan steeplechase can get back to where it is, as, the preserve, the country's preserve in the international championships. So it will be interesting to see how the trials in the steeple pan out, and also talk to the athletes and coaches and hear what they will do differently as we head to Budapest. Anna?
Thank you, Elias. This was fascinating. Now let's look at some cool athletics news, and that is the return to competition of Brazil's 400-meter hurdler, Alisson dos Santos. The reigning world champion had torn his meniscus at the start of 2023, and it looked like he could miss the whole summer season. But he has been announced for the Hercules Diamond League meeting in Monaco on 21 July, facing Karsten Warholm. Although the Brazilian may not be at his very best, it's really good to see him back. Dos Santos had an amazing season last year, winning 12 out of 12 races, including the World Championship final and 7 Diamond League meetings, while the Norwegian had been out of action for over a month after sustaining a right thigh injury in Rabat in early June and had underperformed at the World Championships. So hopefully Dos Santos can be fully recovered in time for Budapest, because a fit Dos Santos and a fit Karsten Warholm, plus the Americans to emerge from the trials, is really going to be one of the most fascinating battles in Budapest. So let's look now at upcoming events as we reach the end of our show. So athletics at the CAC Games is underway in El Salvador, and last night US championships and trials and Jamaican championships and trials started. From 6 to 9 July, so today and tomorrow, Kenyan trials, and of course lots of other national championships in many countries. On 12 to 16 July, Asian Championships will take place in Bangkok. 13 to 16 July, European Athletics Under-23 Championships in Finland in Espoo. And on 16 July, Kamila Skolimovska Memorial, the next Diamond League meeting in Chorzów. And 18 July, Continental Tour Gold event in Székesfehérvár, the István Gyulai Memorial. So we're now at the end of our program. It was great having Elias with us on part of the show. Thank you all for watching. The next days are really exciting as selections will start to take shape for the World Championships. So see you next week on Love Athletics to look together at the highlights, comments, and analysis of what's been happening in our sport over the past 7 days. Bye-bye.